we want to rationalize the denominator, but this denominator is more than one piece, right? We can see here we just don't have a radical 3, we have 3 radical 3 plus radical 7. So what do we use? We use the conjugate, okay? And so the conjugate, remember, is we just change the middle sign. So in this case, it's going to be 3 radical 3 minus radical 7, okay? So I'm going to take my equation, and then I'm going to multiply top and bottom by this conjugate, okay? So always top and bottom. Now I'm going to FOIL out both top and bottom. So on the top, I'm going to get 6, okay? And then the 3's cancel, so I have a 3. Okay, so that's my first. Then I have outer, so I have minus 2 square root of 21. I can combine what's under there. Then I have the inner, so then I have negative 3, 21. And I have my 2 ends. So it's going to be plus, because 2 negatives, 7. They will cancel out. That's my top. In my bottom now, so now I'm switching to the bottom. I'm going to do the first one, so I'm going to get 9, and I'm going to get a 3, because those are going to cancel out. So really careful as we're looking here, okay? This is easy to make a mistake here. I'm timesing 3 radical 3 times 3 radical 3. The 3's out front are none of the radicals, so they're normal. 3 times 3 is 9. These are under the radical. They cancel out. I'm left with just a 3. Now I'm going to do the outer, so I'm going to get negative 3, 20, radical 21. Then the inner, 3, radical 3, 21. And then here at the end, I'm going to get a negative because I have a negative and a positive. They're both 7s, so square root of 49, which is 7. They're going to cancel out. Okay. Now I have to clean up, right? So on the top, I have an 18. These are like terms, right? Because they're the same. So I can become this 5 radical 21 plus 7. Down here, 27. Okay, these cancel out, right? Because both of these like terms. And then 3 and 3 cancel out. This should happen. If this doesn't happen, you did something wrong, because that's the whole point of using the conjugate, right? At this step, this bottom should not have a radical. If it has a radical, you did something wrong, because the whole purpose of what I did was to get rid of the radical using the conjugate. So if I still have a radical, something went wrong, okay? So either I used the wrong term, I used the wrong sign, or I did something wrong in my algebra along the way. Okay, I'm going to finish cleaning up. So I have 18 plus 7, which is 25 minus 5, radical 21. And then this is 20, 27 minus 7. So let's see here. Now I'm going to turn this. This is 25 20ths minus 5 20ths, radical 21. So let's see here. I'm going to end up with 5 fourths minus 1/4 radical 21. So I could leave it like that. The other way you might see it, and it really just depends on how you want to write it, you could also see it as 5 minus the square root of 21 over 4. Either of these is the same thing. It's kind of however you want to write it. I probably would end up, as me, I probably would have factored, you could have done it up here, I probably would have factored the 5 at this point, went 5 radical 21 over 20, and went, oh, I can see that this cancels out, leaving me the 4, and I would have ended up down there. But no matter how you get there, there's a bunch of different paths at that point. You're going to get either of these is the same answer. Now, a lot of the times, especially on a test, it's going to be multiple choice in my math lab, right? That means you need to be able to recognize that these are the same thing, so that if you get one and they gave you the other, you can easily tell the difference between them. So often going between them actually helps, because you need to be able to see that when you're doing your My Math Lab, both homework and the tests, if they're giving you multiple choice. If it's fill in, they should take either, unless they specifically said as one term. Again, read their fine print. But if it was fill in the blank and you gave this and this was the answer and they marked it wrong, I'd go back and give them credit. So take that for what it will. But you do need to, as you're looking at that, you need to be able to go, okay, this is the same thing as I've written down. So definitely be thinking about that and different ways of writing that answer.